Zacks Rank Buys, stocks with a short-term buy or strong buy recommendation. Now, here are more Zacks Rank Buys. All right, now we're going to find out where the value lies on two more stocks with Tracy Reinick, our value stock analyst at Zacks.com, I should say, on Zacks.com. I get so confused anymore, it's not even funny. Or on TV, at Zacks.com, it's a whole big thing. One of the first ones that we're going to talk about today is Oriental Financial Group.
Yes.
This sounds interesting, OFG, the ticker symbol. Okay, they're a financial group, but what end of finance are they in?
They're a pretty diversified banking institution down in Puerto Rico. That's their main market. So it's a little misleading from the name.
Puerto Rico, but they're Oriental.
Yes.
Okay.
Don't ask me how they got that name because I don't know. But they have 23 branches in Puerto Rico, and they do commercial banking, customer regular banking. They do a lot of financial planning and wealth management, and they also do investment banking, and they're doing quite well. They've been doing well throughout this entire financial crisis, actually, because while they have given out a lot of mortgages down in Puerto Rico, they had a very conservative bent on what they were funding over the years. They didn't get sucked into the crazy all-interest loans kind of thing, so their losses haven't been as severe. They have had some losses, but they've been covering that, and they've seen a lot of uptick in other sides of their business, like their deposits have been growing. They grew in this last second quarter they just reported from the first quarter by over 5%, and then they're seeing an uptick in their wealth management side, where their asset management's up 5%. So, they're strong in that area, and they're strong in their main market, which is the mid to higher income clients.
And do we know what geographic area they serve, or do they do business all around the world? Or?
No, just Puerto Rico.
Just Puerto Rico?
Yeah, 23 branches down there. So right now the stock is cheap based on what they have been reporting for their earnings. They're trading at a little bit over 3 times, which is good even for a bank in this kind of environment.
So they traded on the New York? As
yes.
an American depository receipt?
And they're under U.S. banking laws,
okay.
So they're subject to all that same kind of thing like any other bank in the rest of the United States.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
I find it a bit wild myself, but what do I know?
I know. But like I said, they've been much more conservative than their other colleagues in the financial sector. So, and it's been paying off. They had 8 straight surprises on earnings, which for financial especially is almost unheard of. Mm-hmm. So they've been very strong. Analysts like what they see. They're seeing second quarter or third quarter estimates, Zacks consensus estimates are down slightly, but the full year has jumped quite sharply, up 40% based on this last quarter. The chart is kind of crazy. They traded as low as 87 cents in March when everyone thought, the end of the world was near, especially for the financials. And then they've really moved up higher off of that. They're up almost to $15 now, which is a huge gain. But like I said, the fundamentals are there, and the stock is still a value stock and still relatively cheap based on value fundamentals.
Interesting. All right, leave it to Tracy to find the interesting ones. That's what I always say. You'll see when I go to the next one here. The Andersons, ANDE, the ticker symbol. Are they neighbors to the Simpsons?
No, okay. But I like the Andersons. They are an agribusiness kind of company. So they kind of have their hands in a lot of different areas. They do grain storage. They have a rail car leasing and repair business. They're in ethanol. They have some fertilizer business.
A little diversified, are they?
They are. They do turf products. But that diversity is actually kind of helping them right here because, as we saw last year, the fertilizer prices really spiked. That helped their business last year. Mm-hmm. But this year, fertilizer prices have really started to come down, and that business has fallen. So some of their other areas have picked up. They, in the first quarter, saw an increase in both turf products and their grain storage, which they're really focusing on, and that helped them in the first quarter. And so we'll see what happens in the second quarter because they're actually expected to report earnings this week in the next couple days. So, whether or not those same categories will be helping them, we'll see. But analysts are, pretty positive. They've been raising estimates going into this number, and that says a lot, too. In the last week, both the second quarter, which is what they're about to report, and the full year Zacks consensus estimates have been rising going into the number.
Okay.
The stock isn't super cheap here, I have to say. As a value investor, it's right on the cusp of value. It's trading about 15 times forward. So we'll see going into this number, and what they say going into the second half of the year, which for some of the agribusiness companies that have reported so far, That's their stronger end of the year is the second half because of the planting season and things like that.
Yeah.
The stock has really moved up like everything pretty much has since March. It's basically tripled off its March lows. So we'll see, going forward in the next couple of days what these earnings show.
All right. Do you own either of these two?
I do not.
You want to check out more value stock picks that Tracy has outlined for you after she's had a couple of drinks. No, I just just teasing. Go to Zacks.com's homepage, and in the upper right-hand corner of that homepage is where we update all of the Zacks Rank By stock picks every day. 4 new ones for you to consider in each of the investing categories. Tracy's happens to be value, so if you click on the headline right next to that, you'll see what she's talking about here on any given day. With Tracy Reinick, I'm Terry Ruffalo.